No, I mean it's funny how there's always like, the symbolic kind of things that are happening, right? So it's Friday the 13th. So everybody's talking
I
about how it's
know.
Friday the 13th,
I
and
know.
it's also 613. There's like 613 mitzvahs, right? Taryag mitzvot, right?
Got
See? I mean, I kind of had to look that up to make sure that I'm not
it.
saying stuff that I don't know.
Hmm.
So I was just like, so everybody's
It's
looking into
one.
that. There's just this
613 since,
it's
oh,
13
it's
if it's shesh,
613. There you go.
right?
No, I got mixed up with the hostage number, which is about 617 now. It was 613 recently, and because it is 613 in Taryag Mitzvot, in Jerusalem it was a thing. But now I'm following you.
Okay. So I mean, again, this is not I
I
didn't
get it.
search like I just
I
it
got
was somebody was talking about it. I was like, oh, interesting, because we do try to look for,
it.
I
Meaning?
guess, in meaning into everything. But it was just it was insane. This night was one to remember. I mean, and it's only the beginning, I believe. So
No,
it's
I agree with you entirely. And, were you feeling scared or courageous? I mean, for your,
I felt courageous. No, I felt anxious yesterday because
hmm.
that alarm was out of the ordinary. It wasn't the usual one. The usual one we usually know how to handle. I mean, it's crazy, but it's that's our
You're talking about on your
reality.
phone, not we had a siren here. We were awoken
No, so
by
we
a
didn't
siren.
have a siren. We
Yeah, that's
only
weird.
had the phone. So
Right.
the
We
phone
had the
just,
phone also. And
yeah.
it sounded like, I'm sorry, go ahead, continue. Sorry.
No, it went off, and it was really long. Like it was like an alarm clock that was really, really loud and just constant.
Hmm.
So immediately I woke up, and I looked at my phone because of course my phone is next to me, and there was just like white screen, and it says immediate like threat, but like I mean there was an urgency, and it wasn't just like a threat. It was like immediate, like I don't know, like whatever. And I didn't even read it like as thoroughly as I was just like I ran, and then I just kind of shut up, and then I was just like, okay, let's get everyone up.
Hmm.
And then we all gathered in the living room, and then what? Like we were like, okay, so now we'll wait for the siren, because usually they give out, that's like a new thing, right? They give out like a 10-minute warning, which just
Okay.
adds to the anxiety, in my opinion. It
Exactly.
doesn't really kind of relieved
And
it,
we
but
have enough
relieved
time.
the
We have enough
anxiety.
time. A minute and a half is
No,
enough.
it's not even, yeah, it's just like, okay, so now I have 10 more minutes to panic before the alarm. Okay, whatever. And then we just waited and waited, and my kids were really tired, especially my youngest, because my son then went to play video games, teenager. But so we waited. My husband went to sleep because he was just like, whatever. And then I just couldn't sleep. And I was like, I need to do something. And then I start filling out pitchers of water, because I was just like, we might have to just be for a long period at the bomb shelter. And I don't want to die from thirst. I mean, that's just what went through my brain yesterday. And I felt ridiculous doing it. I did. I mean, I just looked for like pictures that and then I filled them up with water. And then I was just like, so what do I do? And then I ran out of pictures. So I started filling up like glasses of water. And I was like, my husband is going to think that I'm insane. But I was like, F him.
Not the bath,
Survival mode.
not the bathtub?
I don't have a bathtub. We just have a shower. So maybe we should get one just for that. Um,
Suggest.
that was yes. It took me a while to fall back to sleep, and then when I woke up, the first thing I did was just to check to see what's happening, and it's just wow, wow. It's like we're in a movie.
What do you mean?
It's just there is this, we're in a movie. It's like we're in a war. It's like people don't understand how this is constant, and the anxiety doesn't disappear. It just kind of, you
Intensify.
balance it out with other
Yeah.
things. But
During the week when we're not in this state of national hysteria. I mean, we're on the other hand, we're going on with our lives. Are we going on with our lives? I mean, I haven't left the house.
I mean, it's that's why I kind of push back against the criticism. People are just saying, how can you go out when there is hostages? How can, and it's like, we need this
Live,
just so we
live,
can breathe. It's not
live.
even breathing. It's just like a semblance of normality. It isn't. Nobody feels normal.
The
And
sound, the sound, and this is my reference point. In America, and you're American, you were had an upbringing in America. There was like these at 11 o'clock or 12 or 1 in the morning. It would be like, this is a test of the emergency broadcasting system, and they would play that sound, and that was the sound that I heard on my phone, and it was like, oh. this is a different thing. Like you said, what do we do now? And it really was just to wake us up, essentially. It was like, I mean, it was like the country saying, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you there might be an attack at night. But as you said, there was no imminent attack happening, except for these
Well,
drones. And I'm just wondering, could your son shoot down these drones with his video game skills? I mean, how
no,
can that be?
it's it's interesting because there's always, and you see this especially in social media or in Israeli social media, where people are just like, did they have to do it? And then you're like, But if they didn't, then people would say, why didn't they? So it was just very, I, I
Hmm.
mean, it's a big event. Like somebody, I read something today that it's almost like a biblical event of what happened, at 3 o'clock in the morning. So we still don't know what's happening, and we're trying to figure it out. We are preparing ourselves for, they were saying 2 weeks,
Nice
two
heard.
weeks of
The Iranians
I
like
mean,
it
I don't
that
want
way.
to say war because we're at war. People don't realize that we're at war, but it's like I said, it's like a war within a war. So now we're preparing ourselves for that type of war, which is like, they're talking about 20,000 ballistic missiles coming in, the drones, which are just, there are 100 of them, flying towards us as we speak. Not,
Wait, did you say
it's
did you say did you say 20,000 ballistic missiles?
And that's I again, I'm not a war expert. It's funny how everybody becomes like a weapon expert. It's like, oh, I know it's what I've read. I hope they have just two, but I'm sure they have more.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I hope they have zero, but I don't know. I'm
When if
I'm
you
just,
when you wish upon a star, why not? Right? Zero
yeah,
sounds
my
like
mom was just, yeah, yesterday she was panicked. She was like, "Where are you?" And it's every time there's a siren, we all have to just kind of go to the WhatsApp and just say where we are. Are we at the bomb shelter? Is everybody okay?
really.
And yesterday, my brother didn't respond. I think he was asleep, so he's okay. But it's just, yeah, that's that's day one of this war, and um, I'm sure it's gonna kind of evolve into something. I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't even know what I hope. What do I hope for world peace? What do I hope? I hope it's just, I don't know, because I mean they're going to retaliate, right? I mean, for sure.
And I think, the 2 week window will be used by Iran. I have no idea again, but I know.
Again, I see, but we're all just kind of speculating.
But
And they're
last
saying how
time
this was like, an elaborate, like Bibi was saying yesterday that he's going on vacation to the north, and that was like a ruse, almost like a decoy to not. Okay, I really hope that they're that
I saw when he went to the Western
strategic.
Wall, when he went to the Western Wall and went to the Kotel, I said,
I
"Oh,
didn't see it.
I said we should
I
all
didn't.
be praying now." And he put
Oh,
a note in, and he put a note in about,
well, the note they showed the note today where
what was the note?
he wrote the note. Like that was also a really funny thing where I read like at 3:50 I read the name of the operation and I read it completely wrong and I didn't get it. And I was like, and it just sounded like two Arabic words and then I read it wrong and everybody did. So it wasn't just me feeling stupid. But then I got it in the morning and I was like, oh, oh, oh. It was
Can you just give
that
us a little bit of background for the
well,
non-Hebrew
it's
Arabic speakers
what
here?
I read. It will make me sound really stupid, and I'm not a stupid individual, but at
We know that it
3:50 in the morning, thinking
happens.
that, I don't have enough water for survival. I read it as im kalabia.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, and it's am kelavi. Okay, and it's a biblical reference, which
The real title is a nation like a lion, and
right.
The Arabic is my nation
I
is like
don't, I think it's just Calabia is like a dog. So I was just
yeah.
like, I just don't, it wasn't just, it was funny because I did feel so stupid. And I was like, okay, it's 3:50 in the morning
No,
or
you don't feel
whatever.
stupid at 3:50 when you're taking care of kids and
When you misread something that should be glaringly obvious, and you're like, and I was thinking, why did they name it like this? It doesn't make any sense. Like, or maybe and it's a biblical passage, right? From the Bible.
oh,
Uh,
my grandson is named Levi. He's named Levi from that.
there's yeah, it's it's a lot of kids are named Livy in Israel today.
That's just,
Livy is a very popular name,
do you
which is
want
a
to,
beautiful name.
do you just want to repeat that you've predicted the name of every one of my grandchildren because you
Not
know them?
everyone.
A few, though. A few.
It's there's Israel is just a country full of trends, and it's really easy
And bomb
to
shelters.
yeah, I mean it's just easy the demographic you can see exactly like if you hear a name, I know the
Uh-huh.
age because like it's the names kind of shift every 10 years and something else becomes popular. I'm going to write a thesis about this one
I
day. I'm
want
sure somebody did.
I once had four Yaels in my class of like 25.
Right. And they're about 38 years old, I would say. 35, 38 years old.
That's
Because
about right. That's about
that was
right.
the period.
So
And
what's
it's
the name now? What are the names now?
um there's some names who have kind of risen, like back, like Abigail, for example. There's a lot of Abigail, and there's Noah has been really popular in the past 15 years.
In
So
Noah, because Noah was popular 20 years ago as well.
right, but there's also right now it's actually more Americanized kind of names. There's a lot of Emily, Emma, Amelia, and
Abigail is biblical, though. That's interesting.
right. But Abigail is bib. There's like there's certain names that made a comeback, and like Naomi also, or Naomi depends on how you pronounce it. It's really interesting how it changed. I mean, but it's like a reflection of who we are. But yeah, so all the Abigails are now just kind of paranoid. I mean, it's not even me. Everybody's in like in constant anxious state. And I think people are like, I think I'm gonna look because there's a supermarket across from me
Yeah.
and it's open. Yeah, and there's tons of people just getting in. So people are, I mean, they're panicking. Are they
Yeah.
panicking in Jerusalem?
Um, yeah. I mean, I was just up very early, so I went and the McCullough owner, who's been a major part of my life this morning, he got there late as well. Um, but as I was saying before, we didn't have the time to prepare there was like no preparation time for this. The last time, there were two much previous times when we were
Once,
anticipating, it was just once, we are anticipating a
last
rain.
April.
Okay. And then we had, then we were hysterical, and it was a buildup of hysteria. And this time there's just no buildup. It just happened.
Well, yesterday I guess I felt something like was not because I have this clairvoyant, like it's just I felt there was talk, and but it wasn't very because they were saying how the Americans were clearing out some of their
I saw
bases
that.
and
Right.
right. So I was just like, ooh, that
Yeah,
means something.
that's a tell. That's a big tell.
Right. That was what I read. And then I was just like, okay, so it's happening. And I did write my husband to bring some mineral water, and he didn't bring it. Well, actually he did, but he left it in the car, so it's useless. So whatever.
Wait. This is not really fair. I mean, he got the mineral water, leaving it in the
But
car.
it's in the car, and the car is parked like really far.
Oh,
So how is it like, and I did ask him at 4 o'clock. I was like, can you please go get the water? And he's like, no. And it's still in the car, in the trunk.
I need to take some tips from your husband.
So he's like, no, no. And I really wanted to get angry, and I could make him, but being such a nice person, I didn't.
And that's
I
not
mean,
you
but
just
the first thing I did this morning was like, go get the effing water. And he still didn't get it, but he will get it today. But the drones are coming. The drones are coming.
the drones are coming.
It'll be really interesting to talk, well, not tomorrow because it's Saturday, but Sunday and see. God, I hope we'll be able to laugh at this and not just be dead. I don't know. It's like,
I know we're laughing because that's what we do, but it is just on the brink of, of World War III essentially, with us at the center, which would not be good for us.
right. I mean, in a way, we're hoping that it's going to be that like it's people it's also, I mean, I'm thinking back to last April. I think it was April when 600 ballistic missiles, kind of flew towards us, and still the world was just like,
Okay.
whatever, their fault, you know who cares if they survive, they don't survive. And there's a certain point where you're like, I guess we really have to take care of ourselves. Like nobody really, I don't know if it's because we're Jewish. I don't know if it's because I don't even know. Like we have a bad marketing kind of, I mean, it's
Our main
the
our main marketing material is the Bible, and it hasn't done so well for us, I mean, in a way it has, in a way it hasn't. Yeah, so Ronit, let's get back together on Sunday and talk about, our future.
drones are coming.